number of Barracudas there. Unbelievable. They're all grouped in a structure. Looks like they congregate to avoid being attacked by a bigger predator. There are very big sharks down here.
My name is Cyril Chauquet, and I spend my life chasing monster fish. Each year, hundreds of people worldwide are attacked by marine predators.
As soon as it hit me, I knew it was something big and probably a shark.
But are these attacks really deliberate? Do predatory fish seek out and hunt humans? And are we really likely to be attacked simply by setting foot in the ocean?
I put my arm up and he took my whole elbow in his mouth.
Or do other factors in these accidents come into play?
It amazes me that he lived to tell you that story.
The goal? Find out if these fish really are the aggressive monsters that we make them out to be.
I'm surrounded by barracudas.
To get to the truth about these animals, I have to investigate in their domain.
Man, watch out, man, watch out! It's a torpedo with razor blades!
And for that, I'll need to get close to some of the most dangerous fish in the ocean.
My gosh, look at the size of this bull shark.
The ocean is the lifeblood of our planet. It covers more than 70% of its surface. It creates and feeds life, but it can also be the source of our worst nightmares. To learn more about our fear of these ocean creatures, I'm gonna explore the waters between Florida and the Bahamas, a region known for its many incidents. In these waters, fish like Wahoos and Barracudas are responsible for many attacks and accidents.
And when I looked down, my skin was open.
But despite all the stories, no creature incites more fear in us than sharks.
Florida has one of the highest rates of shark attacks in the world. And I'm here to find out if sharks are actually as dangerous as people think they are, or are they persecuted out of collective fear and misunderstanding.
To try to understand why shark attacks occur, I'm meeting Kevin Jeffries, who was bitten by a shark while in the waters of the coast of Florida. That day, he was out hunting for hogfish, a kind of reef fish sought after for the quality of its meat.
We're targeting hogfish. We swim around with a yo-yo or a fishing rod and just a hook and some bait.
Okay, so you were actually in the water catching fish with a rod and reel?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
In South Florida, we call it hog dogging.
It's a technique that allows you to precisely target the fish you want by placing the bait directly in front of it.
Yeah, it's a unique method for sure. Obviously, the downfall is sometimes you run into predators. On this particular day, I'd caught a couple of fish, and I had them in my hand and was carrying them back to the boat. And I got maybe 3/4 of the way back to the boat, maybe 75 feet from the boat, out into, 25 or 30 feet of water. And I never saw him coming. And, pow, he hit me hard. As soon as it hit me, I knew it was something big and probably a shark. A real serious hit. I turned around to try and talk him into letting go of me. And
Oh, he was still onto you?
yeah, and he shook his head once and then let go and went away.
I guess the shark must have picked up on the smell of the fish, came for the fish, tried to attack it, and his leg must have been in the way, and boom, he got nailed.
Kevin was really lucky that the shark only bit him once, but that bite was very deep, and there was a lot of blood in the water. Plus, other sharks could have been attracted by all the commotion.
Fortunately, I got back on the boat, put a little tourniquet on it, and my wife cut up a towel and wrapped it up and drove a 70-mile boat ride back to Key West to go get stitched up.
Man, you're badass. Yeah, are you an ex-Marine or something?
No ex-Marine, just wanted to stay alive. I mean, I was probably very fortunate.
What kind of shark do you think he was?
At the time, I was unsure. It was blue in color, but I think it was a mako.
A mako?
A mako.
But you were in how many feet of water?
Where he bit me, I was in 25 or 30 feet of water.
25 feet of water?
Yep.
It's really hard for me to believe that it was a mako shark. Even if it says it was blue, I understand that, but a mako shark is a pelagic shark. They live in the open ocean, in blue waters. And there, he was in 20 feet of water. It just doesn't add up.
Were you close to a drop-off or something?
I mean, yes. By close, I'm going to say 1/4 of a mile.
1/4 of a mile to some really deep water?
Yes. There's no walls in the ocean.
No, fish have tails.
And fish have tails, and they'll go where they want.
The attack was very fast. It left scars on the front and on the back of his leg, mostly because of the shark shaking his head while biting. And now, Kevin thinks twice before getting in the water.
That's a life changer. I've swam with hundreds of sharks. I've never really been scared of them. As a matter of fact, I was probably of the opinion that they don't actually bite. I was wrong. You know, the doctor said that within a couple inches of my, my femoral artery, and she's like, if you get that, it's done.
Wow.
It's over. There's no saving you. You could be next door to the hospital and they probably wouldn't save you. Yeah.
I'm glad you're here to tell me that story, man.
Yeah, that makes two of us. That makes two of us, Cyril. Yeah.
Kevin is sure he was attacked by a shark that was blue. It really sounds like the description of a mako. But I've never heard of these sharks hunting near the coast, as they live in the open ocean. So I'm not really sure what to think. I asked Brian McCaddy to take me to the exact location of the attack, just to see what kind of sharks lurk in these waters.
Hey, Brian, this is the spot?
Yeah, this is exactly the coordinates you gave me.
All right. Let's see what we can find.
We're exactly at the spot where Kevin was attacked by a shark. And this is the best way to see what's down here. I don't see any large predators right now, but that doesn't mean they're not here. If it really was a mako that attacked Kevin, he could come out of nowhere at any moment. These sharks are super fast, and they're cousins of the great white, so I'm not sure if he would attack me or not. I can see why predators are attracted to this reef. There are plenty of bait fish around here. I spot a moray eel. I keep my distance because they could bite if they feel threatened.
It's full of fish down there, but no predator that could attack a person. And you know what? It's not because I don't see them that they're not here.
I didn't manage to see any large predators with my own eyes, but let's see what happens if I put a bait down there. I'm using a 100-pound braided line that I tie onto some 300-pound monofilament, then a metal leader and a hook.
I like to use a circle hook. The way they're designed is they don't gotta hook the fish. They're made to lodge themselves right here, right in the corner of the fish's mouth, not in a harmful place for the animal. And you'll say that this hook looks pretty big, but you know what? After all, he says he was bit by a shark, so there might be some really big fish out here.
And you know what to say. Big bait, big fish.
So what kind of predators do you usually find around here?
Blacktip sharks, bull sharks, hammerheads. There'll definitely be nurse sharks on the bottom.
There are all kinds of sharks down there, but none seem to fit the description of what bit Kevin.
Because he said he saw something blue.
We have very few blue-colored sharks down here. Mako would be one.
But Mako, it's too shallow to be a Mako, right?
I'd be very, very surprised to see a Mako in this depth of water.
And what about a blue shark?
It's not that it absolutely couldn't happen, but odds of winning the lotto are probably better than seeing a blue shark in the Florida Keys.
Whatever bit Kevin was big and powerful. So the only way to know what it was is to check out what bites.
Oh, big hammerhead right here. Big hammerhead. That's a 12-foot hammerhead down there. And a smaller shark just came up to the surface a second ago.
All right, so they're here, huh?
We getting a bite?
Yeah, something's on.
All right, here we go.
I don't know what it is, man.
It looks
It's not
heavy.
moving. It's heavy. Feels like a nurse.
The fight's just like a nurse, but boy, tough.
Yeah, he doesn't want to come up at all. Pretty sure it's a shark. I got some really wide head shakes, and it's very typical of sharks. Oh man, Brian, it's a big nurse shark.
Man, it sure is. That
It's
thing's
huge.
huge.
It's the biggest nurse I've ever seen.
Nurses don't get a lot bigger than that, man.
That's a big fish.
Powerful, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's got some weight to it.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's a big shark. It's a big nurse shark. I think it's the biggest nurse shark I've ever caught. Good job. Thank you. But there's no way this shark would have caused an attack, especially on the surface, because they're mainly bottom feeders. They feed on crustaceans, crabs, lobsters, on the bottom, fish sometimes, whatever they can find. They're scavengers too. But a shark like this coming up to the surface to attack someone? I doubt it. Really doubt it.
And anyway, these fish have small teeth, so the bite mark would be very different.
All right, should we let him go?
Yeah.
All right,
You got it?
Here we go. All right.
Got the hook. Nice
Good job,
work,
man.
All right, good fish.
Let's catch something with serious teeth now.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Yep. All right, that's a serious fish.
That's no nurse.
Nope. Oh,
He's dumping your spool like crazy, man.
yeah. We might need to think about the anchor.
Okay.
No, I think he's gonna be good. He's good. I
Good?
turn him. Oh, maybe not.
This fish is big and powerful. It's taking a lot of line. I might run out and lose the fish if it doesn't stop.
How we doing online, Cyril?
I'm halfway down, but it's good
All
to be
right.
off the anchor just in case.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable now with the anchor off the bottom because I was getting spooled. This fish was running like crazy.
Now, if the fish goes on another run, at least we can chase it.
I was halfway down the spool, but now I put some line back in this reel.
This fight isn't finished yet.
One tough fish.
I'm tired, but I gotta keep my line away from the boat. If it touches it, there's a good chance it might break. It's a big fish. It's showing up as a huge mark on the sonar.
We're marking him right now. He's 17 feet down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's here. It's a big bull shark.
You got a bull, huh?
Yeah, it's a big bull. My gosh, look at the size of this bull shark.
That's a big predator right there, boy.
All right, leader. All right, got it. Man, that's a nice bull shark. And what's typical of bull sharks is the head is really wide, really blunt head. But you know, what doesn't add up is that Kevin said he was attacked by something that was blue. And clearly the shark is gray, as you can see. And he said it was bitten by something that was small. Of course, it could have been a small bull shark, but had it been bitten by this shark, it'd be missing a pretty serious chunk of meat. All right, let's free him up.
All right.
Let's get that hook out.
Whatever bit Kevin remains a mystery. But what I really want to know is why he was bitten and what triggers shark attacks. These attacks happen all around the world. And in Florida, spear fishermen are often on the front line. To find out more, I'm gonna meet Cyril Chauquet, a guy who was badly bitten by a shark while spearfishing for cobia. Cyril served in the military. He's a true adventurer, a passionate fisherman who tries to live off what the ocean has to offer.
How did you get bit? What happened exactly?
We kind of picked up this thing that we do where we shoot cobia off of bull sharks.
You shoot the cobia off the shark?
Off the sharks.
During the cobia migration in the spring, these fish are often found swimming alongside bull sharks. One theory is that they benefit from the shark's leftover food. So for spearfishermen like Kyle, that means they have to get close to these dangerous predators. And to attract the sharks, they use flashers that mimic prey swimming close to the surface.
We're all in the water around the flasher, and my one buddy starts chumming up. The chum slick starts going, baits start coming up, sharks start coming up. Probably 8 to 10 sharks around us.
A shark with some cobias on it begins to swim up to the surface.
So finally we see a shark come up with some cobia on it. So I actually dove through a few of these sharks kind of to get to him.
Kyle and his friends aren't after the sharks, but the cobia that swim with the sharks.
And then I took one of the cobia that was with him. The sharks will also eat the cobia. Once you shoot a cobia, the game changes.
Once a cobia has been hit, it triggers the predatory instinct in the sharks. They become aggressive and try to eat the cobia.
As I'm coming to the surface, I see out of the corner of my eye that there's a shark coming from behind me. I put my arm up and he took my whole elbow in his mouth. Really quick, he bit down, he might have thrashed a bit and just took off.
But your entire arm, basically.
From here to here. You can actually see the mouth from there to there. And then underneath, he just sawed into my arm.
Man, it's a good thing he was fast and put his elbow up like that, because otherwise he would have gotten bitten right in the face.
Got real hectic real quick. My buddies were there. They're fending off sharks that are coming up to me.
Fortunately, his friends quickly get him out of the water.
Nice and easy. You got it. You're all right. I just remember I was laying on the deck of the boat in the back while they were running in. And it's the first time I really looked at it, and I looked over and I saw just my skin just filleted open. I saw under my arm and just the meat, and I was just like, oh man, I was like, this is pretty bad.
Try to move your fingers a little bit.
I can't move them, I can't move them. So that's when it really hit me, I think, is that boat ride when I really realized that I couldn't close my hand and that this was pretty serious, you know?
His friends head to shore as fast as possible and call ahead for help so Kyle can be rushed to hospital as soon as the boat pulls in. Kyle received more than 100 stitches and staples in his arm. But it was his wrist that suffered the most. The bite damaged his tendons, and he could have lost the use of his hand.
You know, in a lot of ways, I was lucky to, keep my arm. I got most of my movement back in my hand now, which is really good, too. It took a long, long time.
I don't think that shark was trying to kill you or anything. No, he was not.
No, I truly, truly believe that if that shark wanted to kill me his size, he would have killed me, for sure. I mean, he was just looking for a meal, you know?
Crazy story, man. Well, the hand seems to be working pretty good now.
Yeah, it's good, man. I got most of my motion back and everything. I got lucky on that one.
Yeah, you got pretty lucky. That's that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Exactly.
Spearfishermen like Kyle, who come close to sharks, play a very dangerous game. From the shark's point of view, I believe it's as if a competing predator came to steal the shark's food. And he doesn't like that at all. Now, I want to see the kind of situation Kyle must have found himself in.
Feeding any kind of wildlife is not the thing you want to do because it changes their feeding behavior. But I just want to show you how aggressive sharks can be when there's food in the water.
The bait attracts small fish to the surface. And with the smell of food and the agitation in the water, it doesn't take much time for predators to arrive.
Check this out.
The sharks start competing for food. And before long, it turns into a real frenzy. Exactly what it must have been like when Kyle was attacked.
And now, would you get in the water? Probably not a good idea.
But shark attacks aren't always provoked. Sometimes, sharks test for potential prey. And the only way to test it is to taste it. Unfortunately, that one bite can cost a limb or a life. In the case of Jessica Vaughn, she apparently didn't do anything to provoke an attack that could have been deadly. In the intracoastal waters of South Florida, Jessica and her friends were having fun on a tube pulled by a boat.
So what happened on that day, Jessica?
Me and my friends went out. They all had gone out on the tube. Finally, it was my turn to go. I just had a bad feeling about something. I had no idea what the feeling was about, but it was just something being in the water. So finally, I get in the water, start swimming out. And about 30 seconds later, something hits me.
suddenly, there was a lot of blood in the water. Jessica started to panic, thinking that whatever bit her would come back.
Come on, swim this way, come on. Come here.
So they pulled the boat up to me and pulled me out of the water.
Take it easy, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay.
And that's when I saw teeth marks. That's when I realized it was not just a fish, it was a shark.
Were you afraid once you realized that your leg was cut open?
There was so much adrenaline pumping that it was just a crazy feeling of that this really just happened.
The bite required serious hospital treatment. The shark's teeth had severed one muscle and 2 tendons.
Where do you think that shark attacked you?
I did have 2 anklets on that day, one on each leg. The shininess of the anklets had attracted it. It just saw something and probably thought it was a fish flailing.
You see, Jessica is clearly an unprovoked attack, meaning that she was not doing anything. She was just in the water, swimming around, of course, making splashes and commotion on the surface. But, you know, she didn't have any fish on her. She didn't have any bait. There was no blood in the water. The shark must have swum around. The water's murky, so he didn't really know what he was looking at. He got attracted by the noise, came up to the surface, thought he was maybe a bait fish or a fish, and bit her.
Was she attacked because of the anklets? Maybe. But what is certain is that it was a bull shark. They are known to live in brackish waters and can be found in this kind of coastal urban environment.
Are you afraid of sharks now?
I would say I am very hesitant about going back in the water just because the fear is there. The fear is real. It happened.
In the ocean, sharks are at the top of the food chain. And every time we enter their domain, we run the risk of being attacked.
You know, most people think that as soon as you enter the shark's environment, you get attacked. I guess we'll find out.
I want to find out if sharks are as aggressive towards humans as a lot of people think they are. And what better way to do that than by being in the water with them?
Look, there are a few over there. They're reef sharks. Don't get me wrong, unprovoked attacks do happen, but they're rare. You see, visibility here is good, and the sharks obviously can't mistake me for a bait fish. If they do attack, it really is because they see me as food. There are plenty of sharks down here, and none of them are interested in me. They clearly don't see me as food.
I really believe these animals don't deserve their reputation, but I'm curious to know what people here think. So I head to the docks to ask a few questions and see how sharks are perceived.
Let them stay where they are, and I'll stay where I am, because if they look at me, they think roast beef. You know what I'm saying?
If you're in the water, you look like food, you move like food, you're gonna be food.
I think they're cool, but a little dangerous.
I think maybe because they're so big and I'm afraid of being eaten.
If you're in their way, they're gonna bite you. And the sharks in Florida are huge.
Yeah, we saw on the TV they attack people, you know. I don't know what reason, but they over there.
I think so many people are afraid of sharks, probably because of misconceptions in the movies.
You read a lot about sharks, and there's a lot of videos about sharks, whereas, like, they're curious, and we're in their home.
I am sure if I had more knowledge on them, I wouldn't probably be as fearful.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
Was the shark that bit Kevin going after the fish? Was Kyle competing with the bull shark for the same food? And was Jessica really attacked just because she was wearing anklets? These are all questions I'd better ask a shark expert. When it comes to sharks, few people know more than Dr. Neil Hammerschlag. He's the director of the Shark Conservation and Research Program at the University of Miami.
So Neil, are sharks as dangerous as we think?
Sharks are predators, and so you definitely have to respect when you're in the water with them. They've got the weaponry in terms of teeth, size, and power to hurt people if they wanted to, but they're not out there to get humans, because if they were, we could never, ever go swimming.
So on this trip, I met with a few people that got bitten by sharks.
The first was Kevin Jeffries. who was bitten while looking for hogfish.
If I was to give someone a recommendation of how to get themselves bitten, I would tell you to do exactly what that guy is doing. He's catching fish, they're struggling on the line, so all those things are cues to a shark to say, hey, free food.
And he thinks he was a mako shark. The front part was clean, you could see the teeth marks, but in the back he was all shredded.
The mako sharks, I don't know if you've ever seen their teeth, they're pretty gnarly. They grab on and they shake like crazy. It would look like probably, if it was his arm or leg, it would look like sticking it in a blender.
Neil's description of a mako's bite makes me think that Kevin was right. Even if he was in shallow water, I guess it could have been a mako that made those bite marks. The second, Cal Sankowitz, was bitten as he was spearfishing for cobia swimming around bull sharks.
It amazes me that he lived to tell you that story because these sharks are predators. We gotta respect them. A bull shark has the weaponry that can do some serious damage. They've even learned that the vibrations of a spear gun going off in the water can signal free food, and these guys know that.
Cal got into a situation where the shark might have thought he was another predator, competing with its food.
Can you imagine trying to do that with a lion, or a tiger? We're like, if it was running next to a wildebeest and you shot it and started dragging it and fighting it with the line, I mean, you wouldn't last. But the fact is that people even try that with sharks and have done it with sharks just show how tolerant sharks are of people and generally not really interested in them.
The third was Jessica Vaughn, who was bitten while tubing with her friends.
She's in murky water. She's wearing jewelry on her ankle, flashy bracelet. Thought it was a prey because of that shine of light off of the jewelry, which is the search image the shark was looking for. Bit it. Didn't taste like a fish, and the shark probably said, okay, that's not prey, and left.
Although sharks can attack by mistaking us for food, it's usually an accident. But there's another problem.
It's not humans that should be afraid of sharks. It's sharks that should be afraid of humans because we're killing, on average 100 million of them a year. So the more we can, inform the public about sharks, the better.
Neil, I'm so glad I came to see you.
It's clear that in most cases, we're not sharks' intended prey. And for the people who were victims of unprovoked attacks, they were probably in the wrong place at the wrong time. But even though sharks are apex predators in the ocean, they're not the only fish that can cause serious injuries. I'm on my way to meet Captain Jim Sharp.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Pleasure's all mine.
He's seen his fair share of monsters in his 50 years of big game fishing.
So I guess you've caught quite a few fish with teeth, right, over the years?
Yes, and some of them can be pretty dangerous. The one we've had most of the bad injuries has been the Wahoo.
Capable of reaching speeds of nearly 50 miles per hour, the Wahoo is one of the fastest fish in the world, but it can also cause some serious damage.
The Wahoo has little teeth that almost looks like a fine-toothed saw.
Right.
They actually bite down as they make contact with the fish.
Okay.
And they're capable of slicing a pretty good-sized fish right in half. From what I've seen of Wahoos, they will go out of their way to bite you.
What do you mean by they'll intentionally bite you? Even on the boat, they can see what's going on?
They'll turn and they'll try to bite your leg.
Really?
Yeah.
So they can see out of the water, they can turn and see what's going on the boat?
Obviously they can, yeah. I have one, I bet he turned 30 or 40 degrees to reach for the mate's leg and try to bite him.
I had heard that about Wahoos before from fishermen, but Jim confirms it. Those fish, once they're on the boat, they'll intentionally bite you. They'll look for you and bang.
It can be a pretty serious injury. If you got an artery cut, you could bleed to death in 90 seconds.
Well, Jim, you know what? All that stuff is really good to know because I'm actually going Wahoo fishing.
So, be careful.
Yeah, I'll definitely be careful in the boat.
This morning, I'm meeting up again with Captain Kevin Jeffries and Earl, his first mate, to see if the Wahoo is really that dangerous. Kevin knows a thing or two about sharp teeth. And for him, Wahoos are the most frightening of all.
Yeah, the fish that we're going to catch today probably have more fear of it than I do of the sharks. And I've been bit by a shark.
So hopefully we catch one.
We're going to do it.
All right, man. Let's make it happen.
Hell yeah.
The Wahoo is a fish that likes to attack fast-moving prey, so we're trolling at high speed to trigger a reaction strike.
These fish are mean, so when they're on the deck, a wahoo more so than any fish I've ever experienced. Like if he gets a chance where he can bite your foot, or if your hand's down there, he's gonna take that chance.
Really?
So his teeth are like razor blade scissors.
Man, these guys catch big fish all the time. You know, they're really used to it, but for some reason, the wahoo, they're really scared of them. That goes to show you that those fish must be really dangerous.
We want to leave here with 10 fingers, 10 toes. That's the only way I can count. If I don't have shoes on, I can count to 20.
All right, fish on the line. I don't think it's really big, but it's a fish.
All right, make sure we bring him in here.
Yeah.
We got plenty of room.
That's a cuda. That's not what we're looking for.
Oh, a little barracuda.
Little cooter. Look, I gotta show you something. Look at the size of the bait compared to the size of the fish. That goes to show you how aggressive those fish are. Pretty hungry, buddy.
Typically, when we do this wahoo fishing, we're working on the edge of the reef. It's where the wahoo tend to be, where they like to be the most.
When there's a drop-off, right?
When there's a drop-off, and a lot of times you're gonna have your best luck on a falling tide.
We're 3 minutes from the tide change, so let's hope that helps us here.
Here we go, here we go. He's on.
That's our wahoo bite. That's him, guys.
I hope so.
That's the right bite, man. That's gonna be him.
Yeah, I'm not very talkative right now because I'm trying to stay focused, putting as much line as possible into this reel, and especially as fast as possible to not lose tension on the line, because once you lose tension, that's when you can lose the fish.
Just want to be careful when he comes in. He's gonna come in mad, angry, and full of teeth. What we got here, Cap?
That's a hoop. All right.
Here, watch out, man, watch out!
Yeah. Watch your feet, guys.
Hey, watch your feet, man, watch your feet. You gotta watch his eyes. If he sees your hand or he sees your foot, he'll go after it. The hook's out, so we got nothing to control him with. Watch them teeth, Cyril.
Yeah.
He's a torpedo with razor blades.
All right. Wahoo. It's not a fish that is known for attacking people in the water, but if you got bit by this on the boat, he would definitely take a big chunk out of you. Man.
Feel that power, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of power in that fish. All right, back in the water.
All right, man. Hey.
Good stuff.
Work out.
Hey, those things are strong. I was like,
absolutely.
That was hilarious.
A wahoo bite can cause some serious damage, but they're not the only fish with dangerous teeth. Barracudas are ferocious predators that swim at full speed to catch their prey. They can measure more than 6 feet long and weigh more than 80 pounds. Barracudas have two types of teeth: dagger-like fangs to grab their prey, and razor blades to cut through flesh. A barracuda can inflict some severe injuries that can take months to recover from. I'm meeting up with Coral Wera, a girl who was rushed to a hospital after a barracuda accident during a family fishing trip.
We put the bait out and everything was on the hooks and we were just waiting. There was nothing really going on. It was kind of just slowish. All of a sudden, that's when I heard my mom say, "Oh my God, look at the barracuda."
Attracted by the bait fish that Coral's father had thrown in the water, the barracuda began to swim around the boat.
I saw this like silvery flash and I felt something hit my arm.
You bit! Oh my God!
I got bit! Oh.
Coral, you okay? You okay? Hold on.
And when I looked down, it felt like little pinches, and I looked and my skin was open.
What happened? What happened, Coral?
I think I got bit!
In a flash, the barracuda jumped out of the water and landed on Coral's arm, mouth wide open.
It was kind of like a shock. Like, did this really just happen? Is this a dream?
Were you scared?
Her being a diabetic, that was the thing that made me most nervous.
Coral's father reacted quickly.
Don't worry, Coral, we're gonna get you to the hospital. Put this on.
He used his t-shirt as a tourniquet to slow the bleeding. then race back to shore to get Coral to the hospital.
We're almost here. What was going through your head on the way back to shore?
Mostly infection because of my diabetes, and I didn't want to bleed out, and I didn't want to lose my arm.
As incredible as this story is, I really don't think it was an attack, but an accident.
I had no jewelry on, I did nothing, like shiny, nothing. It just came out right out of the water.
It had the bait in its mouth, but it was not hooked.
He had the bait fish in its mouth when it landed in the boat after he bit Coral?
Yep.
Wow, he must have aimed at the bait fish, went for it, came out of the water, went airborne, and landed on the boat, on Coral.
It definitely was unprovoked. 1 in a million, I guess.
Coral's injuries required 51 stitches and nearly a year to heal.
That's the wound right there?
Yes, and these two are the deepest parts. These are all teeth, and down in here.
Are you scared of the ocean at all, or?
Yes, I am. All the stories I hear, and here I am telling a story about me now.
Coral is not the first person I met who was injured by a barracuda. Not long ago, I spoke with Tom Goro, who was bitten while snorkeling.
Dabbing the blood off. I said to my daughter, oh no, I've lost my finger, you know? You can see that I'm missing the finger, my little finger completely.
Although generally harmless to humans, it reminds me that you still have to watch out when there are barracuda around. But the best way to observe their behavior is underwater. So I'm gonna go see them face to face. Like sharks, barracuda have a reputation for being dangerous, especially for someone entering their domain. Apparently, there have been several cases of barracuda attacks on divers.
Check it out. A barracuda.
When people say they've been bitten by barracudas, it's often because of poor visibility, like here.
He's not alone. There are a few more there. Look at this beautiful predator.
Barracudas have large eyes and rely on them to hunt. In murky waters, they can't see as well, and sometimes they can mistake shiny objects for prey. With its tapered body and large tail, the barracuda is a fast, explosive predator, capable of reaching speeds of over 30 miles per hour.
I'm gonna follow it. It looks like it's heading somewhere. Wow, I can't believe it. You see that? Look at the number of barracudas there. Unbelievable. They're all grouped in a structure. Looks like they congregate to avoid being attacked by a bigger predator. They're very big sharks down here. Those are bull sharks. The same species that bit Jessica and Kyle.
I have to be very careful and stay calm, because any sudden movement could result in a bad barracuda bite.
Barracuda attacks are rare, but you still have to be very careful around these fish. They're true predators, and they are unpredictable. In fact, it's impossible to know how they'll react.
I gotta say, I may be getting close, but I'm still a little nervous. Although I know that barracudas don't usually attack, you just never know.
They may have a bad reputation, but they're clearly not attacking me. But can they really pose a danger when on the end of the line? Like what happened to Coral?
I really think it was a freak accident. But the best way to find out is to catch one and see how they react when on the end of the line. To help me find the best spot, I head out with Joe Hendricks, who has years of fishing experience and knows these waters like the back of his hand.
Good cast. Thank you.
Oh, here we go.
right, big fish, big cuda on.
You can see how fast they are.
They're pretty quick, yeah.
And he got off.
I just lost a fish, but it looks like I'm gonna get another shot. An even bigger one is approaching the boat.
I like this type of fishing because it's like a hunt. The water is so clear, I can even see them from the surface. There's one. Oh, bigger. Big fish. That's a nice cuda.
Looks like a good one there. Big fish.
Big barracuda. You know what can be dangerous when you have a barracuda like that on the line? Is that sometimes once they're hooked, they jump out of the water. And if you happen to be on the path of the fish, when it lands, you can get seriously injured because they go airborne with an open mouth like this.
There have been cases of people being injured by barracudas jumping out of the water. But I really don't think these fish intentionally attack humans. They're just freak accidents, very unlikely to happen. This fish is relentless, but I finally get it to the boat.
All right. Do you mind grabbing the rod?
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Look at the teeth on that sucker.
All right. Good-sized barracuda right there.
That is a monster.
Beautiful predator, beautiful animal. Look at the size of the eyes. They can see really well. Clearly a sight hunter. And look at the body. Torpedo-shaped, very streamlined, and a big tail for quick accelerations once they've zeroed in on their prey. And the teeth, well, you know what? I think they speak for themselves. Look at the teeth in the back of the jaw. They're so sharp, they're like razor blades. So those fish can hunt with an open mouth, ramming their prey. That way they can cut them up in pieces and then come back for whatever's left.
All right, man.
All right.
I went on a mission to see if some of the ocean's deadliest predators are as dangerous as we've been led to believe. Along the way, I met several people who had incredible survival stories. Although what they went through was frightening, and deadly attacks do happen sometimes, none of the victims I met were bitten by a predator who intentionally wanted to eat them. If we act with caution and respect towards these creatures, there's no reason why we can't share the beauty of the oceans together.